Cassidy says, go to the interior ice. VGK responds, and they rally as they defeat the Flyers 5-2. Our reacts comes your way next, right here on this WTF edition, first of the year, on Lockdown Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco on location. Chris Golick is in Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. So why do they put hotels right next to train tracks? I just, for the life of me, never could understand that. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday to y'all. So VGK gives up the first goal of the game as Tyson Forrester nets that first goal 21 seconds into the game. VGK comes out very sloppy once again. The Golden Knights were all sorts of out of sorts in that first period offensively, but then in the second, 3 VGK goals. They did it by getting into those dirty areas, if you will. Mark Stone on the deflection. Nick Hague with an unbelievable wraparound. I don't know. I didn't even know that this was in his arsenal. And then, of course, we saw Pavel Dorofeev, his goal, the career best 14th for him last night. They take a 3-1 lead. They cruise for the victory. After 2 periods, they're way ahead. And those first 2 goals in a minute 22 of that second period. And they did what Bruce Cassidy wanted them to do.
Yeah, I mean, start by the betting angle of this game, I guess. Just seemed off. We talked on yesterday's show. VGK's minus 250 against Montreal, who they're playing really, really well. They're playing decent. There you go, Tony. And then they get the Flyers, who have not been playing that well. And the Vegas Golden Knights were minus 210. I bet them early at minus 210, thinking I was going to get the best of it. And it dropped to 190. So money was flying in, terrible pun, on the Flyers all day. And then I doubled down when it was 1-0 Flyers early on. I got plus 168 for VGK to win in regulation. I'm like, give me. And the Golden Knights wound up basically running away with the game pretty quickly there in the second. Starting with the Nick Hague goal, I put a tweet out there that VGK defensemen were getting the left side of the ice from the blue line. The Flyers were content letting them walk in and letting a defender make a play. Well, Nick Hague made a play. He wanted to be like a little give and go. I forgot who got the assist on that, but it was a little give and go. But point being is it originated.
Was it Colasar?
I don't know.
Or he was looking for Colasar. He said that he was going to pass it to Colasar, but I've never seen that move out of Hague before, ever.
Well, Hague doesn't go behind the offensive net too often either. But I mean, he's a giraffe. I think that's his emoji on the stats. Dude's a giraffe, and he's tall, and his stick is very, very long, and he can execute a backhand a little differently than a 5'7" forward, and it worked out fine. And the Flyers goaltending, we talked about that. That's the Achilles heel right now. A couple goals that just really didn't have a lot of business going in, and also, the second goal the Flyers scored, Samsonov was a little sleepy on that one. But at the end of the day, Samsonov got the job done, kept Golden Knights out of trouble, and first win of the new year.
Yeah, Sam Urson is out. He was injured in the San Jose game the other night. And the other goalie, they kept calling Colasar on TV. So, whatever, Kolasef, whatever his name is. And then your guy, Alexander Holtz, he scores his 3rd goal of the season. First goal in 11 games, and then he blows kisses to you and I here in Locked On. You saw that, I'm sure.
Holtz, he's weird, and I say this in a good way, right? I mean, Holtz flourished as a bottom 6 forward in New Jersey. He did a really good job, put up some nice points, and now he's in a better situation with maybe players around him in the bottom 6 that are a little bit better, at least once Nick Waugh comes back, presumably if he goes down to that 4th line again. Holtz right now, he's kind of buried on that 4th line right wing, but Holtz is starting to do little things right. The goal was nice, but the block shot was nicer, right? Almost busted his kneecap, but he was able to come back, thankfully. And Holtz does work hard in the corners. Holtz has been working on the defensive side, so I think Holtz accepts his grinder role. I don't think it's what he wanted to be when he came to the Vegas Golden Knights, but it's almost like the special teams player trying to do what he can to stay in the roster and hopefully wait for a bigger opportunity. That's Alex Holtz right now. Alex Holtz is that special team player trying to do what he can so he can stay up with the Golden Knights, not get sent down. And last night was a good example with that block shot.
3 goals. Is that a career best for Holtz?
Not even close.
JK. Okay. Cassidy still jumbling the lines like we've seen him do. He does this like repeatedly, even late into the season. So Kolesar, Howden, and Pearson, Carlson, Dorofeev, and Hurdle, and then Pearson and Olofsson had switched places in the.
When did it happen? Out of curiosity,
in the third period. It happened, I guess, late first or maybe into the second, where he jumbled those lines. And then in the third period, we saw Pearson and Olofsson switching places. Well, Olofsson, where's he going to wind up? On the third line? On the IKEA line? Is that really going to happen? That's the
that actually might happen, honestly, once Ivan Barbashev comes back. But it's funny. I was working last night, but I was watching the game pretty closely, and I had a gap in my work, so I was able to tweet a little bit during the first intermission. And I said, "Hey, are the Golden Knights going to kind of stick with it, or are we going to see a line jumble happen? Stay tuned, I guess." And I didn't notice the line jumble, but I wasn't watching the game like really, really closely, not until the third period at least. So, I mean, listen, Golden Knights needed a spark, and they found it. They got, again, a couple quick strike goals. One of them, I believe, was your typical transition play. You like the Holtz goal. You like seeing Dorofeev score. You like the Eichel Mark Stone connection early on. And, I mean, it was the game that they should have had really against Montreal. Not knocking Montreal, but, I think it was just a better preparation. We talked about how Cassidy likes to fix things after after a loss, and you didn't think the Golden Knights were going to give up this lead after what happened against Montreal.
Yeah, and it was a 2-1 score in the second period. Olofsson rings one off the bar.
That was a great shot.
That was a great shot. And then there was the face-off next, and then Dorofeev finds his way, and he scores on a beautiful shot there from the right side. That was a really well-placed shot. Used the defenseman as a screen, more or less, of the Flyers. So that was a good play there.
I want to jump in. Darren Elliott had a great observation on the Dorofeev goal and situation. So in the first period, Dorofeev had a good rush to the net, waited too long to take a shot, tried this little 360 thing and wound up turning it over. Dorofeev, you see him finish a check a lot more than he normally does. Cheers. Hotel coffee.
Hotel
Continental breakfast coffee. Mud.
I got it, bro. I was there early when they opened the doors at 6:30. I was the first in line.
Nice. So Dorofeev finishes a check pretty hard. You can tell he's pretty pissed off, and then it's wearing on him, and he finds a way to get a goal.
5:30 your time. 5:30 your time. I'm in Salt Lake
time
City.
zone right now.
Yeah, I'm in Salt Lake City, bro.
Yeah, no, they're in a different time zone.
I know. I got to sleep more or less. Well, tried to sleep an extra hour, except for that stupid stinking train coming through. Okay.
So yeah, definitely credit to Darren
song. Train kept rolling all night long. That was it. It shook, man. It shook everything. Shook me all night long. Where was I going? Oh, we did want to talk about Ilya Samsonov, the luggage guy. Gives up that early goal, really sloppy. Then Ryan Poehling runs into him, over him with a little nudge there from Zach Whitecloud. If you watch that replay, he's riding him and he gives him a final shove. Come on, bro. Come on, man. And then they get the goalie interference. But in any event, terrific game for Ilya Samsonov there. 13-2 now against the Flyers. They interviewed him post-game. You know what? Nighttime Minus came in much better in Salt Lake City than it's ever come in Las Vegas. I'm not kidding you. The entire game. No buffering, nothing here. Just a stinking train and everything. But he's won 5 in a row. Ilya Samsonov.
I mean, Samsonov, ever since coming off of the injury against that Kings game early in the season, I think he needed a start or two, and he's been very solid even in some of his losses. How about this? Samsonov is 10-3-1 with a 2.69 and a 9.07. I guess a little stick tap to myself here. Samsonov and Olofsson both were two players that I suggested that the Golden Knights could bargain bin for in free agency after everything happened with Marchessault and company leaving, and of course Logan Thompson. And both players are very important parts of this lineup, and I think collectively they're $3 million or even a shade less as far as total AAV. So McCrimmon, I mean, early WTF, McCrimmon definitely is. He found a way. He found a way to keep this team competitive and maybe better.
What happens now if you've got Aiden Hill, who wants to secure the bag, and Samsonov's going to want some more rubles, man? He's going to want more money.
You knew this was a bridge deal for Samsonov. Everyone in the NHL knows.
Is he gone after this season? Is he gone?
The only way Samsonov stays at this point,
$3 million.
Only way Samsonov stays is if Aiden Hill leaves. And is there a world that exists where the Golden Knights just say, okay, bye-bye, Aiden? If he won't sign for another 4.9 AAV contract, do they try and secure Samsonov for 3 years, for 3 years at $3 million per?
This is
you go shopping for a backup goalie or a 1B goalie because it's a tandem league. No need to pay a top goalie.
No doubt.
Like a Shesterkin and stuff or an Oettinger.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And Quick is going to lead the Rangers back into playoff contention now that Shesterkin's out because he wanted too much money.
He was so good last year too, I think, in a similar situation when he got a bunch of starts.
Yes, he surely did, and he beat the Bruins last night. The defense for VGK, 9 goals now in 8 games, the last 8 games. So that's definitely
about 8 games ago, Tony, when Cassidy said defense get more active.
That's amazing. That's just like it's almost as though whatever he focuses on, the team executes for those given games. He says, go to the interior ice last night, and guess what? Lo and behold, it pays dividends. The guy is an absolute genius when it comes to coaching. I'll give him that, even though he sways an awful lot. I should be swaying, so I block that stupid light back there. Okay, and then 7 of 8 games.
It's a UFO.
It is
a UFO.
Well, I'm in Utah. I saw a picture of snow. Like there's a mountain behind me, and there's actually snow, and I don't want to get close to snow. VGK now has won 7 of its last 8 games. Nick Waugh skated yesterday, but what about the news of Ivan Barbashev now on IR?
It's a non-starter. It doesn't change anything. It frees up the Golden Knights for roster spots in the event they need to bring someone up from the American League. That's all that is right there. It's retro. It doesn't change the injury timeline for him or Nicholas Waugh at all. It's just a matter of, maybe it means it might be a little bit longer. I don't know. We did have the reports from Cassidy mentioning both are skating on their own, but then there was that maintenance day where they might not have, and maybe some. I don't know. But I think they're both closer to joining than not joining the team, and I think they just need a little bit of flexibility with the roster at this point. In the event there needs to be another call-up.
Okay, coming up next, Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs, and the Buffalo Sabres, the Sabres, return to the Fortress on Saturday night. In any time zone, that will be Saturday. Our preview comes your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get into the regular season action on FanDuel. Why? Because it is America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can finish this season strong with a final regular season game coming up this weekend with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's right. FanDuel has so many ways to pick up a W, and you could bet at FanDuel on which players will score a touchdown, how many points will each team score, and so much more. So just visit FanDuel.com. You can join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Welcome back on this WTF edition of Locked On Golden Knights. I'm funnier, I think, with less oxygen or whatever it is at altitude here. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks so much. Of course, you could find us wherever you get your podcast. Today, Friday, WTF Day. Tomorrow, sometimes on Saturdays, the Chris times Chris Jr. show. You guys should do on Saturday morning. You should do like with the Electro Cat Orchestra or whatever that is. You guys should do like a concert for all the fans. I think a free concert right here on our channel. The Buffalo Sabres. So I'm watching back and forth last night. The Sabres jump out to a 3-0 lead. They lead the Avalanche 5-3 with under 4 to go. They blow that lead. They lose in overtime 6-5. And the big story there, Scott Wedgwood gets injured and Blackwood comes in to that game. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for the Avalanche. But the Sabre team, they are in last place in the Atlantic Division. They had that 13-game winless streak.
Who came into the net? Not Blackwood, Reimer or Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen or Levi?
No, I thought it was Blackwood.
Colorado. I was thinking Buffalo goalies. Ignore me.
Yeah. Okay, so Wedgwood out for the Avs. I think I said the Avs. Okay, and then
You did.
Yeah, Wedgwood, Blackwood, same person, right? I've not seen those two same place, same time. Sabres, 13-game winless streak earlier this season. They did play better of late since the return of Rasmus Dahlin, and he came back from injury. Now they've won 3 of 5, but they did get 1 point in last night's game. Former Golden Knight Alex Tuch, 28 points, including 12 goals. I don't think he took a shot in the game last night, which was kind of strange. He's a plus
Did he take a shot pass, though?
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started because someone pointed it out last night too. Just WTF. So Tuch, he's a plus 16 on the season. He had a hat trick against your Chicago team. And then Krebs, 12 points in 38 games. He's now on the third line, which is buzzing. They're actually playing pretty well, along with Zach Benson and Yuri Kulich. So they're starting to gel there. But do you want to talk more about this team? Last night, Jason Zucker with a hat trick in that game. And he'll return here to Las Vegas in this area coming up on Saturday night. But what else do we need to know about the Swords?
You asked, we talked about what do the Golden Knights need maybe as far as the trade deadline goes. The answer might be Alex Tuch. Credit to my friend Alex, who kind of started that parade about a month ago now.
Was that your friend Alex Tuch?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not Alex.
You said your friend Alex. Okay.
Yeah.
Never know.
I mean, Tuch is got. I got him a plus 11 according to ESPN. So I don't know. But either way, it's all good. Listen,
at higher altitude here in Utah, it's 16.
Yeah, exactly. It's the time.
The puck's a little lighter up here. Okay.
The puck's lighter,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Tage Thompson. I mean, you look at this roster; it's a good team. Like
it's a good roster, right?
You wonder why this team isn't doing any good. Okay, Tage Thompson, Jason Zucker, Alex Tuch, John Jason Peterka, younger player, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, Bo Byram, Dylan Cousins, McLeod, Jack Quinn, and then you got the youngsters, Benson, Krebs. He's not as young, but he's still on the younger side, and Kulich. And then you put a fourth line together, and hopefully everything is okay there. But the Sabres are just a dumpster fire. More on that on WTF coming up in the third segment. But they're just the dumpster fire, the rough experiments. It's been rough. So that's not working out right now. The Buffalo Sabres had a 13-game losing streak before rattling off 3 wins in a row against the Islanders, Blackhawks, and Blues. Good job, team go there. Lose to a couple decent teams in Dallas and Colorado. So Sabres come in, they're going to draw Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill is going to do pretty well, most likely, and the Golden Knights should easily find a path to 4 or 5 goals in this game, I think.
You talked about Tage Thompson. He is always a threat. He had the fastest.
He's one of my favorite players in the NHL. I love Tage Thompson, by the way.
He had the fastest shot in NHL history, clocked at 106 miles an hour. Did you see that? I remember just a couple of weeks ago.
That was the fastest log shot in the history of the game. I know there's
in the history since they started
skills and stuff, but
since they started to clock shots,
in-game shots, okay.
In-game shots, he's the only player to have over 100 miles per hour twice. Last night, surprisingly, you okay there? Okay, bro. Altitude. Last night, surprisingly, Tomasz, is that how we were supposed to say his name? Thomas.
Yeah, that's what his
Hurdle.
name is.
Okay, I can't spit all over my microphone many times. Okay, so Hurdle was clocked at 90. He did. The Turtle had a nice. All of a sudden, it came up on the screen. It's at 90 miles per hour. But in any event, back to Tage Thompson. 19 times this season, he's had shots of 90 miles an hour or more. Now, if he could just put those shots on net, I think he'll be in business there.
I remember
That
last
106
year
was not a goal. That 106 was not a goal.
No, it wasn't a goal. I remember last season I was covering the team. I went to the Sabres game, and just I was standing in the tunnel where the Sabres warm up on the ice, and just right next to the players and stuff. And I'm like 6'2", not on skates. I'm a pretty tall guy, right? Tage Thompson. I'm like looking up here when he's skating by, trying to
How tall is
trying to
he?
see the guy. Oh gosh, I think he's 6'4", maybe. I'll look
Okay.
it up in a
Just
second
curious.
here.
Yeah.
But point being is just such a big dude, moves really, really well. And then after the game, I would just be messing with him in the locker room a little bit. And again, just super big guys, someone you definitely don't want to be standing in front of when he's got a full head of steam. And you would like to see, he's 6'6". So you put a pair of skates on, now we're talking 6'9", 6'10". I mean, it's ridiculous how big he is, and he moves really, really well. Fun to
Does he have
watch.
a long stick, like they kept
I'm
saying?
sure
How many
it's
times
just
are they
as
going to
long as Nick
mention last
Hague's
night that
over.
Hague has a stinking long stick?
It's probably not as long as Nick Hague's because defensemen usually go with a little bit longer of a stick, but yeah.
Okay.
Tage is 18 and 15, 33 points. Really fast goaltending. I assume it's going to be UPL, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. 11, 12, and 4, 307, and an 894 save percentage. What is James Reimer doing on the Sabres roster? I don't understand that. I don't know if it was an injury to Devon Levi, who needs to be getting the reps right now. But Levi and UPL, I mean, that's a good tandem that the Sabres could end up having for a long time to come. And Reimer might be a Golden Knight next year. Boom, there it is.
Okay, there are a lot of trade rumors because they will be sellers at the deadline. The Sabres will. Chris Kreider could potentially, this is the big rumor floating around. Chris Kreider of the Rangers could be a Sabre very soon. The Rangers with $9 million in cap space right now. And perhaps they're talking about a trade for Dylan Cousins. So that would be pretty interesting. But they do have so many really good pieces there in Buffalo.
Why would the Sabres trade Dylan Cousins? That makes no sense. What are they going to get? That's going to be
They're going to get Kreider.
Future.
They're going to get Kreider.
Isn't Kreider like 30?
Yeah, Kreider's, yes, absolutely. But again, they have so many really good pieces. And
that's such a Sabres
why don't you start with goaltending, maybe?
But stick to a plan. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I saw a crazy stat with how many 100-point players have left the Buffalo Sabres recently. And that didn't include Jack Eichel, who's on pace for 100 points right now. I mean, it's just the players that the Sabres have lost in trades and free agency and everything. They go on to really, really good careers elsewhere. And you hope a player like Tage Thompson can have that career, whether it's in Buffalo or elsewhere. And you look at all the other players. I mean, Alex Tuck, he's closer to family, sure, but he's on a bad hockey team. So, maybe bring Tuck back to the desert.
No, he won't come back.
He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. Unless they're one of the 5 teams.
Does Ikes have 40 assists now? Did he hit that 40 assist mark?
Did you just call him Ikes?
Ikes. I just want to be cool like everyone else. Like, I just make up nicknames.
He's got 40 assists. Yeah, he's 10 and 40.
That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. He's got 50 points already in the bag.
He's pacing for 110 points right now. He's pacing for the
he'll get it because VGK plays every stinking game at home. When have they been on? They're never on the road. They play these mini games in San Jose. Coming up next, it is WTF What the Friday. Don't go away. Back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Did Rocket Money help you to find any subscriptions that you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? Well, it has definitely happened to me. I have so many subscriptions out there I forget all about. I didn't even realize I was still paying for those. And Rocket Money makes it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Like us, we have that personal intern that helps us out and post all that crazy stuff. And get this, members are saving up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. For me, one of the best features in the subscription tracker is something that you really need to look into because I've used it to cancel services. I wasn't using these services anymore, and I've already saved a ton. Plus, with their goals feature. That's what you need to look for. I've been able to automatically set aside money for my future. No more stressing about budgeting every month. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions today and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco from Salt Lake City, Chris Golick from back. I'm on assignment, and Chris Golick back in the city of lights, Las Vegas. It is WTF time for the first time this year. I see that UFO over my shoulder. That's pretty cool, man. Okay, so I want to get into WTF. I want to start off with nighttime minus. So again, at the forefront. So I did have better reception here in Salt Lake City than I've ever had in Las Vegas. The entire game went without buffering last night. But you, Chris Golick, and some fans were very critical of the app earlier this week because you could not watch the Zach Whitecloud documentary. What was wrong? They were overloaded and whatever. And you had a suggestion, right? Put this thing on stinking YouTube. Lo and behold, where is this documentary now? WTF.
I'm going to pull a muscle there, stretching out.
Yeah,
there.
please be careful, bro.
All right. The date is January the 3rd, 2025. We're significant for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's January 3rd, 2025. The best team in the National Hockey League, best record, best points percentage is the Vegas Golden Knights, led by their leading goal scorer, their co-leading goal scorer, Brett Howden.
Yes.
Their top three goal scorers, Tony, Barbashev, Howden, Dorofeev. This is the best team in the National Hockey League. Barbashev, Howden, Dorofeev. And I say this because it's funny, and I mean that in a good way, but in a serious way, can a team lift the Stanley Cup as Barbashev, Howden, and Dorofeev their leading scorers? We'll find out. I don't think it's not possible. I'm not saying it's a negative, but the path to success for anyone following the Vegas Golden Knights in September and October, putting out a blueprint to success, starting with the people upstairs in McCrimmon and McPhee, did not have Barbashev, Howden, and Dorofeev as 1, 2, and 3 as the calendar turns.
Is that
January.
fool's gold? Is that fool's gold?
No, you can't say that because it's 38 games.
I can't say that. It's WTF time. I can say that.
We can ask the question, but I don't think it's fool's gold. And then I will back this up. The second significance to January the 3rd, 2025. The gap from April 11th, 2011, I believe. 2011 or 2013. We'll call it 2011. It sounds better. The gap from 2011, April 11th, April 13th, 2011, I'm screwing this whole thing up. I don't care. So the current date is 5,016 days. What does 5,016 days represent, Tony?
Devil worshiping, I believe.
Yeah, no. The last time the Buffalo Sabres were in the playoffs was 5,016 days ago.
13 years, right?
Huh? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I had to cut you off there. Holy what?
WTF Buffalo Sabres. Dumpster fire of an organization, almost as bad as your Jets and the local football team.
Oh my gosh.
But not as bad as the Chicago Bears, even bigger dumpster fire.
Oh my goodness. Okay. VGK number one.
The Raiders won that game and blew that draft pick, Tony.
VGK number one of the power rankings by NHL.com. They will not be there in the end. Why? Because they play the second easiest schedule in the NHL from this point forward. WTF.
Keep them up in the power rankings.
How many times did State Run last night mention? Well, they mentioned two things an awful lot. The long stick of Nick Hague, and they mentioned Travis Konechny. Why? Team Canada. I am so stinking sick of Team Canada. This is the USA, bro. I'm sick of it. I've had it up to there. All they talk about is thinking Team Canada. WTF. Here's a good one.
Talking about Team Can. I'm shocked.
Here's a great one. Todd Laricos, our good friend. You have to pull this up on the Twitter, dude, and look there in the mentions. in Singapore with the family this week. Been looking all over for the elusive Golden Knights fans that download your cast. No luck so far. WTF are the download? There's a photo too. This is a gem. Are the download stats for your YouTube and podcast sites rigged? P.S. The extra downloads from here this week are from us.
Let's
That
go.
is an absolute gem.
We have an early entry for the tweet of the year.
How do you beat that one? And there's a photo. Thank you so much for posting that. That's amazing.
I gotta find that. That's great.
Todd Laricos, you are absolutely beautiful, bro. From Jakar 3G, WTF. Olofsson is a really good surprise, but he doesn't belong on the top line. Put Dorofeev back, and why not try Hurdle until Barbie is back? WTF. What do you think?
You said the Golden Knights won 7 of 8 games?
Yeah.
Earlier? Okay, then that's my answer. No.
All right. WTF.
Quick, no.
Do you have anything else there?
YouTube, our 1,000th show. The gems came out for our 1,000th show. The Black Thorn. 1,000 is a good number for Tony to retire on, or at least retire the rigged bull poop. Okay, fine. Let's see. Michael Dalsky is fun. 1,000 show gets 3 free months of Netflix. No, but okay. Mr. Quinlan says send Dasco to Savannah Ghost Pirates for a long-term conditioning stints. Oh God, that's even better. He's wearing the shirt. How's that even happen? And then Lou Dog is hitting us on YouTube. He gets us on Twitter too. But
I thought that you were my man. What? Go ahead.
How is it show 1,000, but Tony has used the term rigged 99,907 times already?
Beautiful.
Team Canada Kevin likes the Cat Siberian Orchestra.
What? I say that again. Sorry.
And Kevin likes the Cat Siberian Orchestra.
Cat Siberian Orchestra is off the charts. It's absolutely. Little Chris has got rhythm. So my parents would never buy me drums because in the ghetto I would wake up all the neighbors right around us. God's honest truth. No, it's too loud. So I got drumsticks from school, right?
Be just as bad.
And I started banging on everything. He's got rhythm, bro. Get him a drum set. Little Chris, he's got some rhythm, man. He's got a future. And my final WTF is stinking Team Canada. I'm just sick of it. It is so stinking rigged. They're going to win the whole thing there, the 4 nations, whatever. I'm just sick of it. WTF.
Team Canada is laying a big egg with the juniors right now, so I could definitely see extra emphasis on the 4 nations just to.
That's all they talk about. That's all these Canadians here in Las Vegas. Oh, Team Canada. Oh, Team Canada. Yo, bro. Okay, hey, like I'm sick of
more
it.
Minnesota than Canada, but I understand what you're saying.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you. Today's show was rigged, by the way. WTF. We appreciate everyone tuning in. There's no trains in the morning. Okay, all overnight. Is that the only time people travel by train, for crying out loud? For my man, Chris
fog is coming. The fog is coming.
The fog has been missing of late. Only the fog up there. We appreciate you tuning in. To all of our friends and to our good friend Todd tuning in from Singapore today.
That was great, Todd. That was awesome.
Thank you so much. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you again on Monday right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take care.